The rumors have been flying about what's going on in the Tuface Idibia's family. So many stories. Some stories saying that Annie Idibia, or now known as Annie Macauley, had gone back to her previous husband Tuface. Other quarters are saying no, it is not true. Annie can never go back to Tuface. But like always, there are some people that believed the news and were very critical and were, criticizing Annie Macauley, that why would she go back to Tuface after all he had put her through, embarrassed her by moving on with another woman, Natasha Osawaru, also known as Idibia, by the online in-laws. So many stories have been flying around, and I decided that let me bring this to our notice. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, your girl, Fosti Onye, and today we are going to be talking about Tuface Idibia, Annie Macauley, the stories surrounding their supposed makeup and if they're back together. So do well to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and also share. Drop a comment for me down in the comment section if you agree with any of the points I am going to raise in this video. Now let's get back into it. So guys, like I was saying, Annie Macauley and Tuface Idibia, for those who don't know who they are, Tuface Idibia is a multi-talented Afrobeat artist. Annie, on the other hand, is an actress, and she has been acting for quite a while. So she and Tuface had this romance for the longest. Started as, young lovers, and over time they had gone ahead to get married, and all the brouhaha happened in their marriage because Tuface had previous children before finally settling with Annie Macauley. Now, all the whole stories and the whole brouhaha about their relationship happened because the relationship was really rife with emotions, pent-up emotions, at some point anger, at some point Annie Macauley, accused Tuface of being an unrepentant cheat and all that story. At some point we got to hear about some substance, use allegations and all that, and it even got out to the point that Annie had to go to rehab. So all those stories, guys, the gist is out there on social media. So Tuface and Annie Idibia, despite all the whole complicities surrounding their relationship, have always forged ahead and solved the problems. But this one, the last one that happened, was what really broke the camel's back, and it's even led Annie Macauley to get into rehab, allegedly. Guys, I'm going to use allegedly here because she had not really come out to say, but news on social media and from some of her friends have pointed to that direction. And so we were very, very surprised when Tuface Idibia moved on with another woman, Natasha Osawaru, also known as Idibia. Like I said, guys, I'm not just mocking her by saying Idibia. It was what she said. I think it was a mistake she made. She was a House of Rep member, and when she introduced herself, instead of her saying my name is Natasha Idibia Ni Osawaru, she said my name is Honorable Natasha Osawaru Ni Idibia. So that was the mistake she made. And that Ni references your maiden name. So she mixed it up, and ever since that name stuck to her, and people call her Ni Idibia. So Tuface moved on with Natasha Osawaru, and they had this relationship going on. So at some point they even came up with videos and pictures that they've gotten married traditionally, while the marriage between Tuface and Annie was in divorce courts. So now Tuface moved ahead with Natasha Osawaru, and he was the person that made the in-laws online to know that there was issues between him and Annie Macauley, because he came out on social media and said he's no longer with Annie Macauley when the dragging was on Annie Macauley because of how she was looking. She was looking so scruffy, and people were now carrying out the rumor that she was dealing with substance abuse. And Tuface came out, and instead of supporting her like everybody thought he would, he came out and said he was no longer with Annie Macaulay. So Idibia and Natasha Osawaru have also been in the news because, according to some sources, and we saw some little clips here and there of that on social media, how she polices him around, you know, always monitoring his activities. That was what we are being presented with by some of Tuface's associates, that she polices him around. She doesn't allow him to, you know, she's just always monitoring him. Like if he wants to go on a show, she will insist that her ticket is also booked, and she will be with him almost through everything. So even when they went to London, Tuface was arrested. We saw the videos online when he was arrested for a fracas. You know, they say he was hitting her. At some point, they say she was pregnant. You know, so many stories. So what I'm trying to point out in this video was that his relationship with Natasha Osawaru was not also, you know, toxic free. It was still rife with a lot of, you know, fights, booze, and all that. Now, what is the story about this alleged reconciliation between Annie Macauley and Tuface Idibia? Seems I have been living under the rock. Why are they using estranged wife for Idibia? We never even do 1 year anniversary. Where have you been? Two Baba's friends deceived. Okay, so somebody replied and said, where have you been? Two Baba's friends deceived two Mama that he was going for a big gig in River State. Now so they take rescue two Baba to Lagos. And the person continued, say they took him to a rehab, then showed him all the videos he made, including the one he made announcing his divorce to Annie. Two Baba said he cannot remember. They now said Natasha's child does not look like Two Baba. They discovered she was never pregnant and she adopted. Even Two Baba did not remember that he married her. Then the house she claimed her grandfather dashed her, landlord gave her quit notice as Two Baba don japa. Nana carry her load, go her mama house. Na cutie Jews update too. The bulletproof continued. Two Baba has been in Lagos having fun with his children and friends. He looks healthy and happy. Them say Two Mama get anger issues. Say any small thing she go popo legend for head. Say she know the talk. Now anything wey dey her hand go land for his ishi. SO to his family and friends. Yes, his children are also happy to spend time with him. This lover is alleging that Tuface and Annie Idibia had gotten back together. Well, a lot of people were jubilating. Some old videos started flying around, and in that old video, I'm going to put that video up where Tuface and Annie were together. So people were celebrating that as it's been confirmation to Gist Lover's story. But Annie Idibia came out and debunked that video was an old video, and she did it by posting this video of herself in her current hairstyle to show that video you guys saw and are celebrating is an old video. This is what I look like now, and she's not also going back to Tuface anytime soon.
I like to think that a lot of you may know that feeling when you're there physically, spiritually, emotionally, but yet you still feel so alone. This season of my life has forced me to reflect on a lot about love, about self-worth, about being chosen. No, not for the moment, but for a lifetime. This book doesn't shame us, doesn't blame us. It also gently asks, do you know your worth? Do you know your value? Do you know that you deserve more than just being present? You deserve to reign. But it makes me realize something. Sometimes we fight so hard to stay in a place where we are tolerated instead of walking towards a place where we are celebrated.
Tuface's younger brother also allegedly gave credence to what Gistlover was saying. In this post, he said she will have to do a stronger juju than the first one she did. She, now referring to Natasha Osawaro, because he believes that maybe Natasha Osawaro is holding down Tuface Idibia with some type of voodoo. That's his own point of view, and that was his mother's point of view too, when she came out to say that Natasha Osawaro should leave her son alone and she should take off the beads she puts in her hand. You know, that was what Tuface's mother said. This is why I believe that Annie Idibia may not go back to Tuface as a wife. I don't believe that she would, because according to her, she said it is better to be in a place where you are celebrated instead of being tolerated. So Annie Idibia really went through a lot in that marriage with Tuface Idibia. At some point, it even came out on social media that her in-laws did not really like her.
Everything! I am going to scatter everything! Nobody knows the wrongs of an angry woman. I will ruin everything. Hello, Idibia family. This is Annie. You know, said that I was with my husband today. Peaceful, nothing happened. My husband told me he had a shoot today. Only for him to pack his things and his stupid cousin Frankie helped him plan it. His family does not love me. They hate me. They've been giving me hell for 10 years. Today, my husband packed his things. He lied to me that he was going to shoot. But my husband is on his way to America. Planned by himself, F.L. Morebe, and Frankie. All of this behind my back. I don't deserve this. I don't. I know this is not your business. But I can't call any member of his family. I can't even call his manager. He will not take my call. Because he thinks I'm the reason. He thinks I'm in his way. He thinks I'm in his way. So he, FA, would never take my call. He don't send this on his way to America without telling me. Without telling me. He's going to seek Pero in America. And his other kids, don't move this car. Park this car. I'm going right now on Instagram Live. I'm going now.
Apart from that, Tuface's relationships with his ex-baby mamas and other children was also putting a kind of strain on that relationship with Annie. Apart from that, Tuface's alleged philandering was also an issue. So Annie Idibia would not want to go through all that, especially how Tuface came out on social media and embarrassed her. He was the one that announced the divorce in a very condescending manner, and he had been saying a lot. So I don't think Annie Idibia will want to put herself through that process again. That is my own belief. She may decide to change tomorrow. I don't know, because we human beings, we can, decide to do whatever we want. Old videos circulating everywhere, false news everywhere. So guys, there you have it. Annie Idibia has stated strongly that she is not going back to Tuface anytime soon, and that those online in-laws that are celebrating, the celebration is really premature. Don't celebrate. She's not going back to where she will be tolerated. She's going to be in a place where she's celebrated, and she's now looking out for herself, and that's a good start, guys. When you're not being appreciated in a relationship, the ideal thing to do is to take a walk. not to remain there and fix something that doesn't need fixing, or try to fix something that can never be fixed, or try to tolerate people's character that you know deep down is really hurting you, hurting your mental health, hurting your emotional health, hurting your physical lifestyle and all that. Where something is no longer serving what is supposed to serve, then you take a walk. No need flogging a dead horse. And I believe that Annie Macauley, with all the whole brouhaha that had happened between her and Tuface Idibia, had decided to pick herself and to choose herself and, forge ahead, live a very fulfilling life with the love of her children and the success of her career. Now, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up and also put down your comments in this comment section. Do you think that Annie is doing the right thing by choosing herself? Or do you think that Tuface Idibia had been under a spell all this while and that she should give him a second chance? Put down your thoughts, your opinion in the comment section. And guys, till I see you again in another video, please take care of yourself. Love yourself, be good to yourself, and always be true to yourself. That is the main cocoa. Bye for now.